Hello. So before we start this video, let me shut that off. Before we start this video, I just want to let you know that I have had a pretty busy month. I'm sick right now, and it is literally February 28th, the last day of February, and this is going to get uploaded maybe today, maybe tomorrow. We will see. Just letting you know, this video is very late. You will get another wrap up for February for the BookTube Games TBR thing. But yeah, I never got to editing this video, and I need to upload something because I haven't filmed anything else. And anyways, this video is gonna get uploaded very soon. I'm so sorry that it's late, but I still want to upload it just so it's out there. Yeah, so watch the video.
Hi guys, my name is Karina. Welcome to Bookish Babbles. This is my channel. We're going to talk about the books that I read in the month of January. I am so excited that this month I'm actually going to be doing a wrap-up. I'm very surprised. I did not think it was going to happen this month, but I found a lot more time than I thought I would have to read, and obviously I had audiobooks, which saved me this month. But let's just get right into it. The first book that I'm going to mention is a DNF. I just want to get it out of the way because I like mentioning books that I do not finish in my wrap-ups, just because I also like when other people add them to their wrap-ups, because it's probably a book that maybe I didn't finish it, but it was a part of my reading during that month, and there's probably a reason as to why I didn't finish reading it. I don't know. If you guys want to hear it, cool. So that book is The Fellowship of the Rings by J.R. Tolkien. I was around 200 pages. Yeah, around 200 pages in the small mass paperback version. There's a lot of things that went into why I DNF'd this book. The narrator of the audiobook was not my favorite. I didn't like it. It sounded very old. Maybe it was the version that I got. There's different versions of this audiobook out there because it is a classic and a very, very old book. And the physical version, I don't like the format. I don't like mass paperback books. It's not the most comfortable to read. I'm definitely going to pick up this book again because at the point where I stopped, it was when I started to actually get a little bit interested, but not enough. I tried reading it again along with Elliot Brooks. She was doing a buddy read of this. I joined the buddy read. It didn't motivate me enough to continue. Yeah, the first book that I actually finished this month is Everless by Sarah Holland. I can't really talk about this book very much because of reasons that you will hopefully soon find out, but I'm very excited about it. I can't wait for you guys to see my review of it. But yeah, I finished it. You guys will see my rating eventually. And now to a book that I can't believe I actually loved. Like, it's kind of weird. And that is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. Oh, wow. Wow, was this book so good. It is a thickums. It is a thick book. I did a little bit of half physical reading, half audiobook listening to it. Like, I'd read one chapter physically, I'd read one chapter in the audiobook version. This was towards the beginning of the month, and it was so good. It was such a long process to finish it, but oh my god, this book was so fun. It was so interesting, and it is a sci-fi book. It's probably one of the first sci-fi books that I've actually read fully all the way through and enjoyed. I was not expecting to love it because when it comes to superheroes, especially with shows, TV shows like Arrow and Supergirl, like all these TV shows, I don't really like them. I'm just not into superheroes like other people are, but this to me was such an interesting take on it. If you guys don't know what Renegades is about, it is basically about a world where superheroes exist, and there was a point in time where the villains won and there was an uprising. There was an uprising, the superheroes are back in power, they're the ones ruling it all, and we have our main character who basically interacts with, our main character is the villain. She interacts with our other main character who is a superhero, and he doesn't know that she is his enemy. It's very interesting because she's so deceiving, and I feel like she's like bad but not too bad, where like she's just like purely evil. She has motives behind, she has like reasoning behind the choices that she makes. I found the characters to be endearing, and I liked the characters, and I felt attached to them, and it was so good, and I hope all of you read it and love it. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then I read An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. At first I gave this book 4 stars, then I gave this book 3 stars, and now we're at a 3.5. But here's why. If you guys don't know, this is kind of like, it's like a Court of Thorns and Roses, but like not anywhere close to it. I feel like it took a lot of inspiration from A Court of Thorns and Roses. It is this Beauty and the Beast retelling where they're fae and she's just a humble human who's a painter. There's a lot of similarities between the 2 books, but in my opinion, the characters are not the same at all. The main character in this book is very strong-minded, and whatever she wants, she's gonna get, because that's just how her brain works. And there were some things that worked for me, there were some things that didn't work for me, but overall, this book just felt a little too short. If you guys can see, it is very short. Let me see how many pages it has. 300 pages. This is also a book that I half read when I had time, half listened to. I feel like I enjoyed reading this physically a little bit more than the audiobook version of it. I don't know why. I just like really enjoyed reading it. Maybe the reason that I didn't give this a full 4 stars is because I also listened to this audiobook, but most of the time it works perfectly fine if I like jump back and forth. Whatever. Kira. I really enjoyed how this book takes a little bit of a darker twist to the fae and shows the ugly side. I feel like in Sarah J. Maas books, the fae are very much beautiful creatures and they have these amazing powers, and everyone, like, in a wonderful world you'd be a fae, but this looks at the horrible sides of being a fae and the outcome of the fae and human relationship. Really enjoyed it, but not quite as much as a 4 stars. It was just a good book, a nice short ride. It's like a roller coaster that it doesn't have a big drop, but like you enjoy it while it lasts. The next book that I finished in the month of January was a reread, and it is My Baby, My Child. Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. Patrick. Anyways, Hush Hush, if you guys don't know what it's about, why don't you? It is about this fallen angel who tries to persuade a human called Nora. And Nora is, you know, not feeling it, but like she's kind of feeling it. Whatever. I'm not going to talk about this book very much. There is a live show for this whole series. We had the first live show like a few weeks ago over at Chandler Ainsley's channel along with the Psycho Nyx. I will link their channels down below as well as the live show if you guys would like to hear my thoughts on it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. First time I read it, I gave it 5 out of 5, but this time around, I feel like there were some differences in my experience. Nostalgia played a big role into it, and yeah. Anyways, love it. Love Pat. Don't love Nora as much, but she's pretty cool. And the next book that I read was kind of a disappointment. I feel like I went in with high expectations, and that always ruins a book for me. That is The Savage Song by V.E. Schwab, or Victoria Schwab. This is her young adult series. I think it's called the Monsters of Verity series. The first book. I already own the second book. It was okay. That's literally my thoughts on it. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. If you guys don't know what this is about, it is about a world in which your sins take shape of monsters. They literally come to life, all of the sins that you've done. If you murdered someone, if you wronged someone, all those sins come to life in monsters, and those monsters kill humans. And it is basically the story about a human who wishes that she was evil, but like she can't be because she's a human. And this monster who truly does wish that he was human. He's very empathetic. He doesn't want to hurt someone, but it is in his nature to hurt people, and he fights against that. I found the male character a little bit more interesting than the female character. She was kind of annoying to me. You know, when Chandler from Chandler Ainsley talks about how Victoria Schwab's character, female characters, are really annoying and stuck up, when it comes to Lila Bard, she's not. She's my queen. Do not hurt her. Kate Harker, she's stuck up. She thinks she's so badass and like she can do anything she wants, but like in real life she's just really scared and she can't do anything. Whatever. I loved August Flynn. He's my little baby boy. I will carry him with me wherever. That being said, plot was pretty intriguing, a little bit iffy on some parts where it's like, oh my god, plot twist, but like I saw it coming from a mile away. 3 out of 5. Again, it was underwhelming because it's a lot of people's favorite. A lot of people give it 5 out of 5 stars. A lot of people, especially in the booktube community, this is like, oh my god, this song is so good, wow. But like for me, it's like, no sis, it's not. Did you even hear that? I don't know. The next book that I finished is obviously trash. Like, what else were we expecting? I need more trash in my life because if you guys don't know what trash I'm talking about, Sarah J. Maas. Trash. Anyways, that is Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This is the Throne of Glass series that I'm reading, book 2. And this book was so good. It was so much better than the first book. Like, the first book I already gave 4 out of 5 stars. This one I give like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Then we finished off the month with a pretty good book. And this is a book that when I read it for the first time, I was like, it was okay. It was fine. Oh, by the way, both This Savage Song and Crown of Midnight were audiobook reads because I don't have time in my life to physically read a book. I'm too busy for that. Anyways, the book that I'm going to be talking about, I did read before, listened to the audiobook, then I read it again. I was like, I'm going to read the physical book. Also listened to a little bit of the audiobook. Enjoyed more the physical version. But obviously, I wanted to finish it. So obviously, I'm going to listen to it. Anyways, that being said, The Cruel Prince by Holly Black.
Oh, what? Oh my god. No, she liked this trash.
I mean, I feel like if you know me, like, of course I'm gonna like this. Like, ugh. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Like a plain 4, not 4.5, no. 4 out of 5. Because I liked it better the second time around. There's a little bit more to Jude than I thought. Jude is a very interesting character. I really, really like her. Excuse you, Kira. The Cruel Prince is again a Fae story. I love Fae. I love the Fae. The Fae are my baes. Anyways, The Cruel Prince is the story of Jude who gets taken by a Fae to Fairyland. And that Fae murders her family because one of her sisters is half Fae and her mom ran away from that guy. And yeah, I really like the way that I really enjoyed the way that her relationship with her dad was very complex. It wasn't just simply, I love this man or I hate this man. I I feel like she was very aware of the fact that he wasn't a good man, but she was raised by him. And I really enjoyed that complexity of not, you know, it wasn't just like, you know, one-dimensional. There was like feelings behind, you know, and she wanted to kind of make him proud, even though he murdered his mom, and he murdered her mom and her real father. But, you know, she still had that care for that guy. Anyways, I feel like when people describe this book, they focus a lot on the romance, and I feel like there's not that much Jude and Cardan romance until the end. Like, literally the end of the book. Like, the last sliver of the book. The whole time I'm expecting Jude and Cardan to get together, and then it doesn't happen until a lot forward into the book. So I was expecting this book to be heavily romanced. I feel like it's more character driven and plot driven than just romance, if that makes any sense. Characters are very complex. I really enjoyed them. I also really enjoyed the dark side of the Fae, because this also takes a little bit of a darker side to the Fae. Not completely as much as An Enchantment of Ravens did, but this does still have that little like... Alright y'all, my camera started recording. I don't know where I left off, but basically, cool prince, a lot less romance than I thought there would be. A lot more scheming involved than I thought there would be. Very... like a genuinely good book in my opinion. I really love the fan art, and I love seeing the fan art, especially when I get the context of it, and I'm like, yes. And when you did get to that romance, like, it's so good. Anyways, that's it for today. Hopefully I read at least this many books next month, and I'll see you then. Peace. Kira. What's up, girl?